is always a couple minutes late. And after Saturday, Bob will not have any excuse because he could have written light rail now with the opening of the meeting.
Oh, I'm writing it down for you.
Several things. First is I'll give you a bit of an update on the stimulus projects. They're listed here in the one handout at your table. We just received let me go back. The stimulus projects, one of the things they wanted to, the biggest hurdle that's always been within the stimulus projects, obviously they have to meet the criteria, all that, but they have to have all the environmental approvals to be able to march through. And that's been very, very critical across the nation. In fact, a lot of projects that people wanted to be able to do just were too early on in the planning process and wouldn't be able to have satisfied NEPA, the National Environmental Policy Act. The regulator on this is that the Federal Transit Administration must sign off on any project that's being funded with stimulus funds to ensure that it is complying fully with NEPA. We just received approval this last week for 2 more of our projects. That is, we have a total of 28 projects. We're very different than the rest of the country because we've really focused on activities that not only fix infrastructure, basic infrastructure, but also employ local people. So we thought that was very, very important. Of the 28, we now have approval on 26 of those projects from the Federal Transit Administration. The 2 most recent were the Wayside Horns in Tualatin, although a relatively small project, very important for that community in terms of being able to deal with some of the sound issues. And then secondly, a very important project, and that is to be able to put in what we call a pocket track at Will Creek Station. This is what it allows us to be able to do is to be able to have the red line, which currently goes as far west as the Beaverton Transit Center, to be able to go on out to Willow Creek and turn around. There are not enough riders to justify it going all the way to Hillsborough, but we are beginning to see the growth, and particularly with the Portland Community College facility there at Willow Creek. We expect that will provide the capacity when funds are available. It isn't going to be immediate, but when funds are available, to be able to extend the light rail operationally, the red line on out. It does a couple of things. It adds 4 more trains per hour in a heavily used corridor. That's important for capacity. But secondly, it also gives single-seat rides to more people in Washington County to the airport, and that's important as well. Second, and some of you have been aware that we are, with the opening of the Green Line, establishing a South Precinct as a part of our police presence, our Transit Police Division presence. That South Precinct event, we actually did the groundbreaking, and Senator Wyden and others were there as a part of that activity a number of months ago. We will have the ribbon cutting tomorrow at 3:30 in the afternoon. We've invited all of you to be able to be a part of that, but it does have us, just as we're opening the alignment, to be able to have the South Precinct there. We think that we really get at least a twofer out of that because it's located right there in the parking structure. The fact that we will have Transit Police Division automobiles there, other things, we think just adds to that security, sense of security at that endpoint for the Green Line. Next, student passes for Portland high school students. We've no doubt seen this in the news. The City of Portland working very hard with us and with the Portland Public Schools to be able to provide passes available to all 13,000 Portland Public School high school students free of charge. Now, this is not something that's at a cost to TriMet. Because of an approach taken in Lane County, we are able to make use of the BETC, the Business Energy Tax Credit, as a way to be able to offset additional energy use that would be there if, in fact, people were moving to those schools by public or by private automobile. Let me take you back just a second. If you recall, there are 2 school districts in the in the state of Oregon that do not have to provide yellow bus school service for yellow bus transportation services for high school students. Those two are the Portland Public Schools and Lane County. The reason being that the public transit systems are expected to be able to provide that or allow for it. Although that was set in motion many, many years ago, the issue of who paid for then that shift of those costs away from the school district to the individual family was never really addressed. It has become all the more important in Portland as they in fact have more and more magnet schools. They are expecting students to move not to their local nearest high school, but to be able can avail themselves of going to schools throughout the region. That issue of making sure that the economic costs of a school pass didn't stop people. As I said, we are making application to the Betsy program to be able to offset those additional costs. The City of Portland and Portland Public Schools also are contributing. This past year we had a pilot in 3 schools, Franklin, Jefferson, and Roosevelt. It will now be available for all schools in the Portland Public Schools. This does not include David Douglas, and it doesn't include some of the other schools outside, although in those cases there are more limited public transportation options in any event. So, yes.
How do students get the free passes? Are they just distributed to the school gets them out, or do the students have to jump in?
Carolyn, I'll let Carolyn explain.
It's actually part of the student ID. So it's embedded in the ID itself. It's not a sticker. So it's part of the student ID that they received. Most of them got it last week when they pre-registered. For the students that are not in the regular high school, that are in some of the alternative education settings, they will be getting the monthly pass.
And just a comment, Fred, I mean, it was the talk of the day at Cleveland High School, which is your closest school, and it was what everyone was excited about. When they got their ID cards, instead of showing what's your picture look like, they were all saying, look, I have a TriMet pass, I can go anywhere.
That's great.
As an alumni of Cleveland High School right over there.